room. But first off, head coach Sean Nahas, after a 1-0 result over Gotham tonight, coach, any thoughts on the match?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. That's for sure. Look, they're a good side, and we had to weather the storm a bit, especially late in that half. I felt like the first 15 minutes we were a bit all over the place. Our press was off, so we had to tweak it a little bit. We worked on a few things throughout the week, so the players were prepared to adjust whenever we needed to. Then we settled in and we changed our rotations and movements a little bit. What we were trying to do wasn't working because of what they were doing. So it was sort of a chess match in the beginning part of the game, and then it settled in. A good goal. And then we had to, I've been challenging the group all week in terms of learning from last week, in terms of fighting and competing. And that last 10 minutes, they put us under an immense amount of pressure, and we competed and found a way. And for that, I'm really proud of the group. The crowd was amazing tonight. Definitely lifted us up, especially in those later stages. But it's good to go in the international break with 3 points under our belt.
Coach, before we talk about the ins and outs of the game beforehand, a very emotional moment when Caroline Nicole saw that trophy for the first time. You got to embrace her after that, present her with that trophy. What did that mean to you? What did that mean to her as well?
Yeah, I think it stings because she's not playing, and I think that's when the emotions came out. I'm not going to tell you what we spoke about because that's between Caro and I, but it's a good recognition for a player that deserves to be the MVP, and the club did a good job of recognizing her. And I know she's eager to get back, but she's one of the best players in the world, and she's only going to be on the rise. And to not have her playing, we're lifting up so that when she does get back, that we'll be in a good place. But you can't replace someone like her, so you need everyone else to step up. And I was glad we were able to honor her the way we did in front of our fans.
Questions in the room. Alicia, would you like to start?
Sure. Sean, it felt like a playoff atmosphere tonight. What did you think of? You said it was a chess match. It seemed like Gotham was really closing off the edges of the field, and you guys had to find kind of another way. What were your thoughts on kind of that back and forth and trying to find a breakthrough on the night?
Yeah, it's two good teams, and they know what we're trying to do. We know what they're trying to do, and I think later in the middle part of that second half, I feel like we found the edges a little bit more and the width a little bit more, and then we sort of died out. The spaces between our lines as we were going forward was too big, and when we lost it, they attacked those spaces, and then we started becoming a domino effect, and they started getting behind a little bit. In terms of the spaces they were trying to block out, I felt once they were trying to keep us on one side, and once they did, it really made it difficult. And our outlet was too far away. And that's something I've been stressing with. And if we don't change that, we're going to have a hard time having success. So, but we found a way, and they made it difficult for sure.
It just seemed like it was just hard to really establish any kind of flow in the game for much of the game. But then your defense also comes through the sheet about like KK, who was some huge plays.
Yeah, KK showed her who she is. Her value and her growth throughout over the last couple of years. It doesn't always have to be pretty. Teams are going to make it very difficult for us, and I think there were some moments of really good football mixed in with having to battle. I thought Denise O'Sullivan was unbelievable tonight. And a leader like that gives you energy. But KK was great. Everyone had a part in today's game, which was great. We haven't had that since, we didn't do that against Utah, right? But everyone's expecting us to play a certain way. And if you look at the goal, it was a ball behind, right? Because, Bianca, we don't want the ball to her feet. We want the ball in behind at times. So that's where it comes from. So we have to mix it up a little bit and not be so predictable. But we have to be quicker on the ball. Our tempo has to be higher. We have to be more connected. But if you asked me before the game, what would it look like? I would have told you that. I don't think any team really established possession when in the flow of the game. But that's just two good teams canceling each other out.
Kind of jumping from that point, finished with the first month of the season, you're going into the international break. Is that what you're kind of taking in, that information going into that break?
What information?
Just kind of how the first month went.
No, I just build off of this week. It's good. It's always good to go on an international break. They'll get a couple of days off to hit the reset button. It's always good to go into an international break with 3 points under your belt, because that's a long time before we play, and it always gives a little bit of that extra step to want to come back in and train. But regardless of today's result, we would still attack it the same way. It's just who we are. But yeah, anytime you get 3 points, it makes the next session that much better, because they start believing more. But I saw a difference in our group in just terms of a fight, and we're still really soft. I'm going to be honest. We don't tackle well. I think we're really bad, to be honest. And that has to change, and that's something we'll hone in on. We can't lose the 50-50 battles, especially if the game is going to be direct at times. We have to win those second balls. If we're not strong enough and we want to pull out of tackles, we're going to get swallowed whole in this league. So we can't be the nice little footballers. We have to grind it out a little bit. And yeah, I thought we were tremendous from back to front today, for sure.
Seems like Bianca kind of has that fight.
Yeah, but she's got to be careful too, and I had to tell her just to sort of calm down, because you could see she was starting to pent up a little bit. And, I just reminded her, and she settled down. And I just didn't want her, the way that referee was going, I'll keep my comments to myself, and let that speak volumes. But yeah, I was afraid that she'd get a second yellow, so I had to pull her.
Brandon, anything on your end?
How do you feel the team played the second half well, maintaining the lead and not giving into their offense?
Well, we won, right? We won 1-0, so I guess we did a good job. We defended the box really well, and that was one thing I talked to the team about after last week. I mean, Utah defended the box really well, but that's something we have to do. And you have to learn how to fight sometimes. You have to learn how to grind a result out, and these are the games that'll make us better. Last week and this week will make us better. And it makes us realize that, we have to be better under pressure and possession, and those are things we'll work at. We have to be better at defending in certain areas. Yes, we'll work on it. But it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Last year it took us 6-7 games, if not longer. And to be honest with you, with the pieces we're missing, it's going to take us more time. But again, to have 6 points out of 9, I think any group would take that.
Steph or Dan, any questions via Zoom?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
We can hear you guys.
You just talked about tackles and wanting the team to do more. Typically, looking at the game stats, I'm interested if you guys out tackled Gotham 16 to 11, you want your goals, and obviously stats aren't telling the whole story. So I'm just wondering if you can elaborate more on what you want to see the team do better in that area.
Yeah.
Numbers,
yeah. Yeah, I don't have stats in front of me. I would like them. I think the key thing, Steph, is the tackles in critical moments. There were some moments where we had them locked in and we bailed out of a 50-50 challenge, and they ended up running at our goal. So I think I'm talking more about those than I am other stuff. But I think the critical battles where if we don't win it, we're in trouble, I thought we struggled in that. They may have been few and far between. There may have been a couple, but those couple can lead to chances, which they did. So I think it's just making sure when it's that ball in between two players that we're not the ones pulling out. And I think that's what I'm talking about, not the overall tackle numbers, because I don't know what it was. But since you have the stats in front of you and I don't, what was our possession numbers? Yeah, sounds about right. So again, 2 good teams, right? So yeah, I'm proud of the group, and we'll push on after a couple of days off. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Dan, anything on your end?
Come on, Dan, you're never on.
All right.
Whatever.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you
All
very
right.
much for your time.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Have a good.